Now, some of you might hesitate here because you really hate the feeling that you're bragging. And the truth is, it's not bragging if you have the skills to back it up. And in these competitive fields, if you don't highlight your expertise, who will? Right? So think about that. When a potential client is looking for a professional, what do? They Google you. So what are they finding? Are they seeing a clear picture of your expertise and accomplishments? If not, you might be missing out on some really great opportunities. I'm Sylvia Garibaldi, founder and CEO of a well-established marketing training and done-for-you services company, tailored specifically for the modern legal and financial professional worldwide. While it's taken some trial and error to figure out which methods get the best results for professionals who are looking to grow their practices, fast forward to today, my team and I have nailed down and perfected a process that has helped so many of our clients consistently achieve outstanding results and create a legacy for their practices. I created the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast to give you simple, actionable, non-salesy, and results-driven marketing to grow your legal or financial practice like so many of our clients have. If you're a lawyer, mediator, financial, or divorce professional who is looking to become highly visible and wants to create a practice that makes an impact, then you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 42 of the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast. Do you remember those early days as a professional, those sleepless nights, that constant worry about doing enough for clients? Well, that's a very common experience for many in the legal and financial industry. I think the doubts, the questions about whether you have what it takes to make it, they're all part of this journey. But here's the exciting part. There are game-changing strategies that can really transform a professional practice, and that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. So you might be thinking, okay, so what is this all about? Is it about adding more to an already full plate? And this is really all about working smarter, not harder. So, if you've ever wondered why some professionals in your field seem to effortlessly attract high profile clients in lucrative cases, well, it's not just magic, and it's certainly not luck. So, in today's episode, I'm going to be covering what that is. I'm going to be talking about 3 key ways to position yourself as a power player. Okay, so let's dive into our first key to becoming a power player in your industry, and that is continuous learning. Now, you might be thinking, I've already got my degree and certifications and years of experience. Why do I need to keep learning? Okay, so I want you to imagine this scenario. A client walks into your office with a complex, high net worth divorce. And so you are trying to prepare for it. And you know that this case is going to be incredibly difficult. But the question becomes, are there things that you need to continuously learn about in order to be able to help this client? So think about the last time you encountered a situation that left you stumped, right? Maybe it was a tricky international custody dispute or a case involving hidden digital assets. These cases or these challenges are exactly why staying on top of your game is critical. So, what's the solution? And I really believe that it's important to adopt a student mindset. Now, this doesn't mean enrolling in school again. It's all about staying curious and open to new ideas. Okay, so let me break this down for you. First, you want to stay updated on industry trends and innovations. So, for example, you can subscribe to industry newsletters or follow associations on social media. You can network with colleagues at industry associations. So, just think about the places where you can continually learn about the latest trends. The second thing you can do is you can approach every client case as a learning opportunity. So let's stick with the example of a high net worth divorce. And so this high net worth divorce involves complex business valuations. So you're going to want to think about who are the resources I can tap into to help this client solve this case successfully. So maybe you're going to consult with your forensic accountant, or maybe you have a more experienced colleague. So, this collaboration not only enhances your knowledge, but also strengthens your professional network. So, it's not just about you having all of that specific knowledge to help your clients. It's about how can you tap into the right resources that can help you successfully help your clients. Okay, I hope this is making sense. So, the last thing you want to do is you want to analyze the information that you consume. So, for instance, if you read about a landmark case on maybe spousal support, you don't just want to memorize the outcome. You really want to ask yourself, how might this affect my current cases that I'm working on? Could this change my approach to negotiating settlements? Okay, so it's applying what you're learning, taking that information and applying it. Now, you might be also wondering, how can I possibly find time for all of this learning? I understand, I get it. So, my recommendation is start small. Even 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. So, for example, listen to a podcast during your commute, or maybe commit to reading just one short article a week. Small steps, right? Here's another practical tip. You can create a learning journal, and I love this idea and I use it frequently. So, what you do is you jot down one new thing that you learn every day, or if it's every couple of days, don't sweat it. Just think about writing down what you learned that was new. And so, for example, it could be a new tax law affecting divorce settlements, or maybe a mediation technique that you haven't tried before and you read about it and you want to be able to apply it. And so, what happens over time is you'll build a valuable resource of knowledge. And it's important to remember that the goal isn't to become an expert in everything overnight, it's about consistently expanding your toolkit. All right, let me dive into our second key to becoming a power player in your industry, and that is showcasing your expertise. Now, some of you might hesitate here because you really hate the feeling that you're bragging. And the truth is, it's not bragging if you have the skills to back it up. And in these competitive fields, if you don't highlight your expertise, who will? Right? So think about that. When a potential client is looking for a professional, what do? They Google you. So, what are they finding? Are they seeing a clear picture of your expertise and accomplishments? If not, you might be missing out on some really great opportunities. So let me break this down into some simple steps. The first thing you're going to want to do is you want to share your professional achievements and recognition. So, for example, estate planning lawyers, maybe you helped a client set up a complex multi generational trust. That's something that you could highlight. If you're a divorce financial analyst, maybe you received a certification like the Certified Divorce Financial Analyst, right? The CDFA. Or if you're a workplace mediator, maybe you were recognized by your local ADR association. I'm just trying to give you examples here to think about how you can do this. So don't keep these achievements a secret, right? You can't become an industry leader if nobody knows about you or what you've achieved. So share them on your website or your LinkedIn profile. And for example, if you just got your CDFA, your profile could say John Doe certified divorce financial analyst specializing in high net worth divorces, right? So there you've captured that you have your CDFA and you specialize in high net worth divorces. Okay? Another thing you could do is you could highlight your publications and your media appearances. So, for example, if you're a workplace mediator and you contributed to a podcast about resolving conflicts in remote work environments, so these are golden opportunities to showcase your expertise. And what you can do is create a media section on your website and put those articles or links there. And you can also share them on your social media platforms. Okay. And the last thing you can do here is really express informed opinions on industry matters. So, here are a couple of examples. If you're an estate planning lawyer, you can share your thoughts on how maybe new legislation might affect estate planning strategies. Or if you're a divorce financial analyst, you can write a blog post about emerging trends in how to divide assets successfully. So remember, potential clients are looking for professionals who are not just knowledgeable, but they're also insightful and forward thinking. So if you are feeling, uncomfortable about putting yourself out there that way, in the way that I've just described, that's okay. I know it can feel awkward at first, but I want you to start small. So here are some things that you can do to start small. So maybe begin with updating your LinkedIn profile if you haven't done that in a while, or write a short article for your professional association's newsletter. Get comfortable taking small steps and then expand your efforts. And I think the key thing here is to be authentic and consistent. So you don't need to become a social media influencer overnight. Just focus on regularly sharing valuable insights and information that showcase your expertise. And remember, every time you share your knowledge, you're not just promoting yourself, right? I don't want you to be thinking about, oh, this is me promoting myself. I want you to think about how you are helping someone who might be struggling with an issue in your area of expertise. Okay? So your insights could be exactly what they need to hear. So, I also want to touch on showcasing your expertise through your content creation strategy. Now, many of you probably are shying away from writing content because you might think you just don't have the time or you don't know what to write about. But if you've been listening to this podcast, you've heard me say several times that in today's digital world, you have to be creating content to reach and engage with your potential clients. Now, whether it's you or someone that you hire, that's entirely up to you. But you do need to be present in the online world and on these channels. And this is how you demonstrate your expertise before people actually even approach you to ask for your services, right? You have to demonstrate your expertise in order for people to want to approach you or to call you or to set up some time to discuss their issue because people are online and they are looking for you and they are googling you and searching you before they actually even pick up the phone to call you. So, when we're talking about content, I think we need to really look at an important element here, and that is originality. So, we've all seen those social media posts that seem to be copied and pasted from one professional to another, right? You know what I'm talking about? So, here's the hard truth that kind of recycled content just doesn't cut it anymore. And your potential clients are very smart. They can spot generic advice from a mile away. So what do, right? So when we work with our clients, this is one of the key things we do is we say you're going to lead with original ideas. We're not going to be reinventing the wheel every time you post something, but you can make it your own original piece when you think about your unique experiences or your specific expertise, right? What insights can you offer that no one else can? That's what's going to make your social media posts or your blogs or your presentations different from your competition. Maybe it's a clever strategy that you've developed to handle difficult clients or a unique perspective on a recent industry development, right? That's the gold that you want to share. So, now in terms of types of content that you should be posting, I want to talk about a ratio. It's called the 80-10-10. It's a ratio I love using, and this is how I break it down. So you aim for 80% of your content to be educational. So this is where you really get to flex those expert muscles and you share your knowledge through complex concepts that you've explained in plain language, and you can offer practical tips as well. So, for example, if you're a family law attorney, you might create a series of posts explaining different custody arrangements and their pros and cons. Okay. The next 10% of your content should be motivational or inspirational. So, let's face it, when people are facing legal or financial issues, they very often need some encouragement. So, share success stories. Offer words of wisdom or even just a motivational quote that resonates with your audience. Okay. And the final 10% can be promotional. And this is where you talk about your services, how you can help them. You can share client testimonials. And so think about that 10% and make sure that you're weaving that through your various types of content when you're posting on social media. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying, I'm not a writer. I don't have time for this. And so I get that. Here's the thing, you don't need to write a novel every day. As I said, start small. Maybe it's weekly. Maybe it's a weekly LinkedIn post, or you're sharing something on Facebook, you're sharing a quick tip, or a monthly blog on your website. You don't need to do a deep dive. The key here is consistency and quality over quantity. And of course, there are the AI tools out there that you can use to craft or get some ideas on what to write about.
Let's take a quick break.
If you're struggling to attract the right clients, we get it. It's tough to stand out in today's crowded market. That's why I'm super excited to invite you to our free 2-hour interactive workshop, How to Consistently Attract Clients to Your Professional Practice. Now, previous participants have shared with us how much they've learned and how quickly they've been able to apply these strategies to grow their practices. And in this workshop, I'll be covering a lot of ground. We'll be talking about how to build a strong personal brand and how to use social media to attract more clients. And more importantly, how to form meaningful referral partnerships. And of course, how to unlock LinkedIn's true power that most professionals are not doing. So, this isn't just theory, it's actionable advice that you can start using right away. Join me for this free workshop on Wednesday, October the 2nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You won't want to miss it. We've opened up registration and it's already filling up. Link for registration can be found in the show notes. See you there. But here's the key thing, you need to make it your own. And so that means that you can't use the first iteration of ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever it is that you're using. You really need to customize it so that it fits your experience, that will be able to get your prospective clients thinking about how you can help them. So the AI tools are really important and they are a really great tool to use in your business, but just use them wisely and know that you still need to customize and personalize it so it represents you and your brand and how you can best serve your clients. So, the key here is content creation isn't just for your audience, it's also for you. So, what do I mean by that? The process of putting your thoughts into words, of explaining complex concepts simply, this will make you an even better professional. Why? Because it actually forces you to stay on top of your game, to always be learning and thinking critically about your industry and about the prospective clients that you get to serve. All right, let's dive into our third and final key to becoming a power player in your industry, and that is strategic networking. So, some people simply don't like networking because it can feel like awkward small talk or just exchanging business cards. But I think strategic networking is so much more than that, and it can be a game changer for your practice when done right. So, let's start with a hard truth. In today's digital world, showing up on LinkedIn a few times a week just isn't enough anymore. Okay. And so the key word here is strategic. And of course, you hear me using the example of LinkedIn because I am a huge proponent of LinkedIn. And I think professionals in the legal and financial industry need to be active on LinkedIn in order to build their thought leadership and to consistently attract their clients. We see this time and time again with our own clients. We know it works. There's a way to do it so that you are getting the results that you want in your practice. So, simply said, I'm using an example of LinkedIn here because I think this can really resonate. So, the key word here is strategic, right? It's about engaging with purpose, with clear goals in mind. So, think of it like this: if your career was a garden, networking is how you actually plant the seeds for future opportunities, right? You don't get action or results right away. So, how do we best do this? Well, first, let's talk about engaging on professional platforms. Like I said, LinkedIn being one of my favorites. This isn't about mindlessly scrolling or liking every post that you see. This is about scrolling with purpose. So, it's about commenting on posts with thoughtful insights, Share articles that are relevant to your field, adding your own perspective, maybe participate in industry specific groups. The goal here is to become a familiar face, a trusted voice in your community. But here's the secret to doing this well. You need to set specific networking goals. So, vague goals like meet more people, that's just not going to cut it. You need to be laser focused. You need to ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? Who do I need to connect with to make this happen? So, let's look at a couple of examples to make this more concrete. So, let's say you're looking to expand your referral network. Your goal might be to connect with 3 potential referral partners every month. So, these could be professionals in related fields. So, for example, maybe you're a divorce attorney and you're looking to connect with therapists, financial advisors who specialize in divorce. So, here's how you might approach this. You want to identify potential partners through LinkedIn or professional associations. You're going to engage with their content regularly, meaning comment, share, show that you're interested in their work. And then you're going to reach out with a personalized message explaining why you'd like to connect and how you might be able to help each other. And then from there, you can suggest a virtual coffee chat to discuss potential collaboration. Okay. Simple, straightforward. But what I want to say here is always, always make this authentic. This is about how you can help each other and not about what you can get out of the situation. So let me give you another quick example here. Maybe you've got your sights set on becoming a keynote speaker at industry conferences, and your networking goal might be to connect with 3 experienced speakers in your field every quarter. So your approach could look like this. You're going to follow and engage with content from speakers that you admire. And then after building some rapport through interactions, you're going to reach out with a specific question about their speaking journey. And you can ask if they'd be willing to have a short call with you to share some advice. And then during the call, you're going to ask about their process for securing speaking engagements and any tips that they might have for newcomers. And guess what? When you're having this conversation with them, they might want to introduce you to other places where you could become a speaker. So be open to these opportunities. And remember, as I mentioned, authenticity is key, right? It really has to be authentic and be genuine in your interactions. Show real interest in others and always, always think about how you can provide value, not just what you can get out of it. Okay. Now, I know putting yourself out there can feel uncomfortable, and I think we all have that feeling. But here's the thing. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So you need to start small. You need to set a goal to make one meaningful connection this week and then build from there, right? So strategic networking isn't about collecting the most connections or attending every industry event. It's just about building real relationships that can help you grow professionally and personally. And it's about creating a support system, a brain trust, a community of like minded professionals who can lift each other up. And I think that's the type of mindset we need to have when we go into networking. So I really believe that each of us are already equipped with so much potential. And everything that I've discussed in this episode, continuous learning, showcasing your expertise, and strategic networking, are really the keys that can help you unlock new doors for your practice. But here's the thing, none of this happens overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that really compound over time. Sure, there can be quick wins, absolutely, but success doesn't happen overnight and it does take time. And I think you need to go in with the mindset of patience and just repetition and being consistent. And it's not about being perfect or having all the answers right now. Please be kind to yourself. This is really about just showing up, staying curious, and being willing to put yourself out there in new ways. And I know firsthand that growth in the legal and financial industries can feel really slow and sometimes frustrating. But every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. And we need to celebrate progress. We need to be reminded to celebrate progress. So those sleepless nights, maybe those moments of doubt, they're really just all part of this journey, but so are the achievements. And I think the clients that you help, the lives that you change, and the impact that you make is so, so important along this journey. So as you go about your day, I want you to remember this. You have what it takes already. You're capable of greatness. Just keep learning, keep sharing, and keep connecting with others in meaningful ways. You've got this. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish next. And if you found today's content valuable, please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. I'd be honored if you rate or review the show. Thanks for joining in, and see you in the next episode.